Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where we're going to take a look at the first tactical readouts we have for the ODSTs. This is Halo Flashpoint Tactics. We're over here on the Mantic website. I've linked this in the description of the video if you want to go check it out yourselves. This one's coming from Dan. There's a little bit from Cleric, I think, as well. But we're getting our first look at how these ODSTs are going to work on the table. How about we take a look? Welcome back, Spartans, troopers. With the Banished now hitting shelves, it's time to look ahead. And we've got something special inbound. Fan favourite Orbital drop shop troopers are finally deploying into Halo Flashpoint with the next expansion, Feet First into Hell. Lift the lid, and behind the stunning box art, which I just adore, I want to know what this piece of artwork is. I don't know if it's something that they will have done themselves. It's obviously an ODST from Halo artwork past, but whatever it is, I love it. It's incredible. There's something just amazing about ODSTs. I know I keep saying it, but honestly, I love it. Anyway, behind the stunning box art, you'll find everything you need to field the ODST. Highly detailed plastic miniatures, a fresh expansion booklet titled Desperate Measures, an arsenal of new cards, themed ODST dice, a deluxe gaming mat, and all the card terrain required to recreate the contested streets of New Mombasa right on your tabletop. Don't they look amazing? Everything about this box. So ODST is my favourite Halo game, I've mentioned that before. Everything in this box just screams true, real Halo to me. I have no prejudice against the Banished. I know why they had to do a Banished box, because they were obliged to. Halo Infinite and whatever's moving on from Halo Infinite, we're gearing up for Halo 7, whatever that's going to look like game-wise. We have the next novel in the story pushing Chief's adventures ahead towards Halo 7 coming out next year. So they had to do the Banished. They were obliged to do the Banished because that is the Halo Studios push. They have this enemy. The Covenant is gone. But now with Wave 4 and moving onwards, we're seeing the return to the classic Halo stuff. The Halo stuff fans like me fell in love with. I mean, not just with ODST, but with Halo 1 back in 2001. I've been playing Halo in some form, mostly on the Xbox, since 2001, and this is exactly what I want. The Spartan 4s are great. I love the Spartan 4s, I love them lore-wise, I love their models, they're stunning. And Wave 2 delved very much into the Reach iteration and the similar armor variants that you had in Halo Reach, but in the Halo Infinite style, which is very similar, to be honest. This is the first time we've actually got an original trilogy idea of what's going on, and they've knocked it out the park. Everything about this is ODST. It's Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo ODST. It fits that time frame, but ODSTs are timeless. I'm so excited about this. I'm going to do a second video, probably not today, might drop Sunday, of the actual contents of the box and talking through the weapons I've seen. Maybe this will inform that better, but how about we just look and see what the ODSTs are going to be bringing. So plenty of you have already secured your pre-orders. I've had mine in for about a week now, I think. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. But we know some of you are holding out for a bit of strategic intel before making your move. Well, we wouldn't dream of standing between you and a full orbital drop of tabletop goodness. So it's time to hand things over to the Rules Committee for a closer look at how the ODST operating game settle in for your briefing. Things are about to get tactical. So the Rules Committee ODST overview. What are the first things you need to know about the ODST? They are badass. Second point, the ODSTs are cheaper than Spartans, and players can easily field teams of 6 to 7 in a 200-point game. So that probably puts them around 30 points each? No, 25 points each, do we think? With gear and stuff? 25 points, approximately? Their wide board presence from these extra miniatures makes them invaluable in objective-based missions. They have decent range stats, along with shorter movement across the board. The ODSTs are more fragile than the other units seen in Halo Flashpoint so far, so planning and timing your attacks carefully is important to get the best results from your fire teams. Makes sense. They're not Mjolnir armoured, they don't have shield generators, they're just wearing pretty good top-of-the-line armour, but it's nothing that a Spartan would have. It's a big step down. And the ODSTs can be used in mixed fire teams with Spartans or as a pure ODST fire team. So we take some ODSTs, we take Master Chief, boom. That's the list. I love that. They're UNSC units, they should be their own thing. You can field ODSTs on their own. Perfect. I hope that they do feel fleshed out and they do have enough punch to actually function as an individual team. But you should also be able to ally in Spartans. It happens in all of the games. Halo 2, Halo 3, we have scene of Chief dropping in with ODSTs and just wrecking stuff. I love it. I love all this. But with these general points in mind, let's take a look at the new unit types available to UNSC players. ODST Special Purpose Troops. Special Purpose Troops are well-rounded and equipped for long range, starting with either the M392 DMR or the BR-55 battle rifle. It's gonna be a battle rifle. Every time. I love my Betsy. Both of these weapons have optics, which can pack a punch, coupled with Scout, so they do have Scout, makes the Special Purpose Trooper a threat, especially for early game strikes. These are the cheapest of the ODSTs to field, allowing for 4 Special Purpose Troopers in under 100 points, so probably 20 points each, 22 points each maybe. Buying them grenades works well, allowing them to indirectly fire and suppress to allow your other UNSC forces to move in for the kill. So these are going to be opening the guerrilla assault. ODST Air Assault Bullfrogs. Bullfrogs are lethal combatants that excel at close range, dropping in to eliminate targets and secure key objectives. Bullfrogs have both jump pack and acrobatic, as well as a sprint stat of 3. This makes them particularly brutal in missions that reward for killing. They will earn extra points compared to other units due to acrobatic. Bullfrogs begin with a combat knife, which is fairly solid, and either an MA40 assault rifle or the M7S SMG, that beautiful silenced SMG. The MA40 is a versatile weapon capable of reliable rapid fire and weight of fire too, so it is a solid choice. Helps both this and to strip shields easily. And the SMG has optics and weight of fire too. Interesting. Optics makes sense. So it's useful at taking out unshielded models or even getting lucky kills from height on Spartans or Sangheili. There's a tactical choice there then. Interesting. I mean, theme-wise, I would always go SMG just because I'm building Alpha 9. But actually, there is a very good shout for taking the MA40 as well. So the SMG is a silenced weapon. I wonder if that's going to get some sort of special rule that they're not ready to tell us yet. ODST Fire Breaks. So fire breaks carry heavy duty weapons effective at close range, starting with a demo charge in combat. Interesting. And either the M7057 flamethrower or the M90 shotgun. Both are very tempting by the sounds of it. These ODSTs are heavy hitters to rely on storming objectives in King of the Hill and Extraction. They're very useful, dropping in and clearing the area, while in Slayer and Oddball, they're useful for reliable strikes. So the flamethrower brings the brand new incendiary keyword to Flashpoint. An area of effect attack which burns whole cubes at a time, great for clearing out busy cubes, whereas the shotgun provides reliable lethal 1 firepower for more precise attacks. So you're going to want a flamethrower, probably. You're going to want a fire break with the flamethrower just for that threat on objectives. I like it. ODST Officers. So the ODST Second Lieutenant has both Scout and Tactician. It is the MA5K. I have notes on all of the weapon loadouts that they have here. Obviously that's a moot point right now, but the MA5K was originally seen on the Ghosts of Onyx cover. It has just about 3, maybe 6 months ago been released in Halo Infinite. That's the first video game it's been in. It is a cut down assault rifle. It is just a carbine. It's probably just a shield stripping machine. I'm not entirely sure how much damage it'll put through, but it'll strip shields. It's just a fast rate of fire carbine. But the Avenger carbine has weight of fire 3, very nice, making it incredibly useful to break shields early game or go for lucky kills on low armored models. The ODST Captain comes with higher Tactician and the M6C SOCOM silenced pistol, a longer range optics weapon. Both of these are invaluable to take in ODST fire teams for Tactician access, although they will be primary targets for your opponent, so make sure to keep them safe. I'm all for it, having a command structure in there that you try and keep safe, maybe capping other objectives, or at the... yeah, I don't know. Obviously, if you have Tactician, and you should be taking Tactician in your fire teams, you want to keep that model safe, but with Brutes, with Spartans, they have quite a lot of inbuilt protection anyway. This is going to be a very different way of playing. I'm here for it. I love this. So Special Orders Hot Drop. One of the most iconic features of the ODST Hot Drop is a special order to allow them to drop precisely onto the board by passing a range test instead of respawning in the usual manner. Alternatively, at the start of the game, it can be used to allow multiple ODSTs to redeploy further onto the board. Okay. This is going to be a very interesting special order. This is an unrivaled tool for movement and to grab objectives quickly and efficiently. However, there are potentially lethal consequences to failing a hot drop roll, so definitely make sure to use it at the right time. I would expect if you fail the range test, your pod is lost in action. Gear and list building. Heavy weapons such as the fuel rod gun, the M41 spanker, or the plasma launcher are all useful to ODSTs. To boost their damage output, ODST fire teams benefit from command dice upgrades. Getting hot drop reliably and having spare shoot dice to use are both incredibly handy to augment your forces. You'll want plenty of tactician access for ODST fire teams to maximise hot drop's impact throughout the game. ODST fire teams can mix between ODSTs and Spartans, allowing for greater list building and flexibility within the faction. This is all good news. However, the ODST captain cannot be taken with any Spartans that have tactician. Makes sense, because that Spartan would unofficially be leading that squad. An enmity between high-ranking ODSTs and Spartans prevents this alliance, completely lore accurate, with the ODST representing apparently weaker by comparison despite often holding a higher rank. Spartans this has changed in Halo 5, I think they changed it, maybe Halo 4, but Spartans were only ever allowed to go up to Petty Officer Master Chief, and there was only one Spartan who held that rank. I believe there's a lieutenant now in Sarah Palmer. I think she's a lieutenant. She's definitely not a captain, but Spartans were always lower rank, try and keep them under the radar, very limited numbers, and Chief was the highest rank of all of them. To be fair, he still is. Deadeyes, CQBs, and Brawlers all synergize well to boost the ODST's killing power, whilst Zvezdas can provide a solid anchor for UNSC fire teams. So, Brawlers and Bullfrogs would probably work similarly, but obviously a Brawler will last longer in combat. Deadeyes for getting more accurate shooting, yeah, probably. Interesting. What you need to see is actually see the operatives, see the prices, see what you can work in. So as a rule, it's a captain or a Spartan with tactician. So either take an ODST captain or you take Mark 7 probably, and then just give him something solid so he can push up a little bit further, like a decent gun. That would gain you access to tactician, but also have you, that tactician model, able to stick around a bit more. I wonder if there's going to be bonuses to not mixing Spartans and ODSTs. It doesn't sound like there is, because obviously they're going to want you to play with all the tools that you have, but it just makes list building so much more interesting. Much like with the Banished, you've now got elites and brutes, and you can mix and match if you want, which lore-wise, aesthetic-wise, army building-wise, and just pure personal decision, there's so much you could do with mixing in that stuff and make a really cool-looking fire team of a couple of elites, a couple of brutes, big chieftain. I love that idea. So bringing that in with the UNSC makes sense, and also this does open up Marines, Jackals, Grunts, smaller, weaker things that between all the factions you can just ally them in. But it also means bigger things, more expensive things like Hunters, which you're going to have to take in pairs, so they're going to be expensive when they finally come, as I'm sure they will. It's going to really restrict your options if you take something that big. But they are walking tanks. So we're starting to see, yet again, this is still in the first year of this game, we're still learning a lot about how Mantic are going to deliver this. Well, I am anyway, but having dedicated factions, but those factions being quite wide, it makes sense in the lore, it makes sense in how you see forces, both UNSC and Covenant and Banished, but it allows you to have that personal mix and have an army or a fire team building out to something bigger if we get big team, if we get other things down the line that you're really going to want to personalize and have fun with. I'm all in on all this stuff. Big thanks to the Rules Committee for their tactical deep dive on what the ODSTs bring to Halo Flashpoint. It's already got us rethinking our fighting builds and itching to deploy them against the Geralhane on the streets of New Mombasa. Yes, everything in here I love, and it all makes sense. Weapon choices for the captain is interesting, but then the second lieutenant having the slightly better weapon, although the SOCOM is hopefully going to be a bit brutal. That's a silenced weapon as well. Maybe that isn't silenced. I think there's just a muzzle brake on there, potentially. But the SMG is silenced as well. Now, there's no mention of silence, but I wonder if that's going to have any play in it, or if that's just an aesthetic thing in this game. I don't think it makes sense for silence to be a thing, because it's quite restrictive. We'll see. Because, I mean, the Covenant, I suppose you could give them silenced in some form. but nothing else looks like it has silencers. Everything else is bog standard weapons, as you'd expect. All of this sounds great. And I love that there's this mix of your standard ODSTs, and then you've got your close range stuff who can jump in, jump out, really good. And then you've got your heavy hitters. And you can also build in and buy some extra heavy weapons and things for some of your troopers. Officers is such a cool idea as well, giving you a command structure and models that you probably want to keep safe. Yeah, all for this. Absolutely all for this. How to start fielding the ODST in Halo Flashpoint. Stay sharp, trooper. A couple of points to note before you suit up. Feet First Intel is a full expansion for Halo Flashpoint, so you'll need a starter set to jump in. You've got your recon set, or you've got the web app, which gives you free access to the roles. It depends how deep you want to go into it. If you just want to run a couple of Spartans, a couple of the standard Spartans that will work really well with these ODSTs, the recon set is a good shout. If you would rather go a little bit bigger and spend a little bit more, the Spartan set gives you some elites, it gives you a loaded terrain. You get terrain in the recon as well, but it gives you double the Spartans. You can mix and match a bit more, or have repetitions if you want. This expansion is dropping this October, so it could be middle of October through to the end of October. It's usually by the end of the month they will have shipped. Not necessarily with you, but it will have been shipped to you by the end of the month, fingers crossed. And if you buy this box, and like I say, I'm going to do a second video talking about the contents of this box, you do get limited editions of Buck and Dare. You can see them there, front and center, just like they should be. I cannot fault any of this. This box looks incredible. I'm going to save that for a second video. I'm so excited. Yeah, I cannot wait. I think that this is just perfect. Not only is it a fan favorite unit, and it's fan favorite characters, I would say, with Buck and Dare in the faction box, but you're also getting something a little bit different to Spartans, something that lets you field more for the UNSC, very much like the Banished have done with the Brutes when they released a couple of months ago. But you're really getting to dive into the differences of Halo. Spartans fighting elites and brutes is cool, and I wouldn't fault anybody for wanting to just stick with that. The Spartans are very solid, the elites are pretty good, and the brutes are very tanky. But being able to start to see Mantic playing with the stats, and as they say, these will be slower, they will be easier to kill than Spartans, but you're taking more numbers, and the models are just stunning. I am all in on this box. I'm glad I got my pre-order in early. Hopefully that means it will ship a little bit earlier so we can do a review in October when it lands. We will see. This is all interesting. I'm looking forward to more as we get closer to release date. I'm looking forward to seeing some cards, getting some ideas on what these actual weapons will do. There's some really interesting extra rules on these troopers themselves. The weapons is what I'm interested to see as well. I want to know if silenced is going to be a thing. And I do want to know how much damage these flamethrowers are going to do as well, as they sound pretty tasty. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you've pre-ordered your box yet. If not, why not? Let me know what's holding you back. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.